welcome everyone. I hope you can hear me. It is extremely windy here. Later it will be better. Later it will be better when I have the wind from behind. So, but I hope you can hear me. And yes, I'm not in Amsterdam now. I'm at the other side of this big ocean over here. This beautiful blue ocean. Ah! And let me know if you can hear me all. So, because you can maybe see a little already how tough it is. So I'm going to show you my face for a moment. Look at my hair. It's just going all the way. You can hear me well. Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm just gonna need to place Oscar back in my backpack because otherwise he will be blown away. He's not heavy enough for this. So, ah, welcome everyone, and let me know when the time is for the official tour. I'm just gonna change my screen, change the screen again so you don't see my face. A little around over here. But even in the screen, you can see how much wind there is. 4 minutes to go. Thank you for that. Later on, it will be a lot less because we are now standing on a pier. Standing on a pier at the end of Miami South Beach. But you can see over here, it is about it's about a little above 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's about 25 degrees Celsius. Not too warm, but also not too cold. So it's a beautiful day, I think. And my first day in Miami, my third time in the US, but my first day in Miami. I've never been here before. So, and that was different. I will tell you a little more about that later when we officially start the tour. So, hi Susan, welcome. Hi Emily, welcome Robin. Hi Liturgy. Hi Tish, welcome Beth. Hi Diane, Miss Peacock also. Hi Catherine. Hi Cindy. TW. I think another Catherine. Hi Linda. New York is also here. Hi Susan. Hi Robin. I think I maybe had everyone. Hi Sarah. Hi Paula. So wow, a lot of people. A lot of people are here today. So, and I'm standing here on the walking way. There's also another pier here next. Welcome, Mark. Also welcome, of course. Not to forget, there's a second pier here next to us where originally, officially, you're not allowed to go on there because it is too dangerous with the wind. And not only that, you can of course also fall in between all these big rocks. Yeah, and she is, of course, he has clothes for an adventure at the other side. So he has a shirt with the sun is out. And I will get him later on again while we're looking here at this beautiful part of Miami Beach here at one side. And then at the other side, you can see the skies are a little like, it feels a little like home with these skies, to be honest. Dark skies, blue skies, white, it's like Dutch clouds almost. And here at the other side, we have Fisher Island. I will tell you a little more about that too. And there are a lot of fast boats are going here. Sound is fine too. Oh, that's good to know because it is extremely windy. And I will also tell you what brought me over here. So let me just just gonna show you my face over here. Welcome to Miami. So no, it is good to be here. I will be here for for about 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks even. Not only in Miami, but also several several other parts of Florida, and not only Florida. I will also go to some other countries. So that will be I will be adding more and more tours in the coming days. So That's yeah, and the clouds are beautiful, isn't it? So I will go to several other locations on Monday. For example, on my you can see it already on my channel. Um, that I will go on Monday to the Everglades for some kayaking. You know that I love kayaking, so I will go to the Everglades on a kayak. So that will be on Monday, and after that, tomorrow there are two tours here in Miami. Then I will also do some other ones. I didn't all add them yet, so bit by bit. So, but some will be in the U.S. and in Florida. Some will also be in some other parts of the world. And of course, also welcome everyone. Good evening, everyone from my part of the world, from Europe, from England. I think it's 9 p.m. in the UK, 10 p.m. in Amsterdam right now, or almost 10 p.m. So and yes, I will be careful, of course, even in my little kayak. So Oscar is with me. I mean, a gator will never attack me when they see such a bear next to me. So hopefully that will save me. And next to that, I love animals. So okay, yeah, and it is even 10 p.m. 10 p.m. on some parts of Europe, I know, or even more to the east, 12 already. So, but yeah, I needed today a little to prepare. I had a flight yesterday of 9 hours in total to get here. I did fly over Dublin, so I was 1 hour in Dublin on the airport. This was, by the way, the first time in Ireland ever, but I think 1 hour is not counting. Um, so and then I came over here. I landed around 4:30 p.m. over here, and then I had to get a car. Had to go to my Airbnb and everything. So I think it's now about time to um, to start this tour. So thank you already for some advice how to behave with the gators. I will do that on Monday, of course. So welcome everyone. So this is my face, by the way. So you still see a little sleepy from a very long day yesterday, 24 hours. So that's why I'm wearing my sunglasses, but of course also for the sun. Now, welcome everyone in Miami. My name is Stephan. As you don't know me yet, I'm normally a guide in the Netherlands and Belgium. But yeah, sometimes you're traveling, and at this moment, I'm traveling to the other side. I'm in Miami, in the southern part of Florida. Um, and why am I here? You may be wondering. So now, some of you know that next to my virtual tours, I also have a company. I have a company organizing all kinds of tours in Amsterdam, and not only Amsterdam, also in the Netherlands. And the thing is that we have a lot of guests from the US and also from Canada, by the way, but the US and Canada, that are the two biggest groups. And a lot of our guests, they want to have private tours, and they let that organized by travel agents. So, and what will happen? And that is in about 9 days from now. Now, I think 8 or 9 days from now, there will be a conference. There will be a conference of people that are just joining. Hi, Ronnie. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, a lot of other names that I saw. Um, no, that conference will be over here in Miami, or to be precise, it will start in Miami. Because what I'm gonna do, that conference with about 600 travel agents, that is for me the best way to build up my network a little further. So, and a friend of mine, he asked me, Stefan, come join because it starts in Miami, and that conference will be, and I'm not kidding, on a cruise ship. So I'm gonna, for the first time in my life, also I'm going to be on a cruise ship, going through the Caribbean to the Dominican Republic, I think, to Mexico. So there will be several other tours. So hopefully I can do some more tours from these locations too, like Tulum, for example. So, but that will be later in February, in the last week. Before that time, I'm gonna travel through Florida, and I'm starting here today in Miami. So, and I'm now also gonna change the screen. Yeah, and I'm very excited about that. And to be honest, also one of the other things is that I'm traveling here now for 10 days all on my own, and I've never been for such a long time just traveling alone. So that's also for me a little like whoa, a little excited. a little scary also, because until now I was sometimes, for all of you, 3 days in Belgium or 3 days in Germany, something like that. But this is really 10 days, so it's a little different. So, okay, I don't know, Roy. I'm just gonna change the screen so you can see what I'm seeing. We see over here the South Beach, um, and yeah, we are of course in Miami, and I'm now going from the pier on the most southern point of the beach. We see here some of the skyscrapers, all hotels, by the way, that we have over here, because of course Miami is the place, one of the places in the U.S., or maybe even the place in the U.S. where you are going to if you want to go to the beach, and of course not only the beach but also the beach life and everything. So we're gonna uh, explore a little of this beautiful city today. So, and that's also, by the way, an interesting thing because over here you have Miami Beach. That is how this island is called. It is an island in front of Miami, and Miami you can see over there. Let's go to the other side, and you can see it a little better. We see the skyscrapers over there. By the way, there's also some cruise ships laying over there. But you see the skyscrapers. That is Miami, and basically Miami. Miami Beach that we have over here on the right side is protecting Miami that is just at the other side. And it's not only Miami Beach, also several other islands. And one of them is this island here at the other side that is called Fisher Island. Fisher Island has nothing to do with fishermen, no, by a man named Mr. Fisher who started the project here at the other side. And what project do we have over here? This island has been in the hands of very rich families for a very long time. For example, the Vanderbilts, very Dutch name by the way, but the Vanderbilts have been the owners of this island. But since the 60s, it has been sold and in the hands of several other multimillionaires. And in the 90s, they decided to make over here all kinds of houses. And we see over here there are apartment blocks. There are about 500 people only living on this island, a little over 500. And this is the most rich part that you can find in the US. So the average yearly income, I'm not saying income, yearly income is above $2 million if you want to live there. So who is living there? For example, uh, the rebel Andre Agassi, but also one of his competitors when he was still playing tennis, Boris Becker, but also Oprah Winfrey is living over there. And the unique thing of this Fisher Island is, is that you can only come there over the water. So it is basically an island with a lot of privacy, and the only way to get to the other side is to go by boat or by helicopter. So that is a very interesting way of coming to your private island. But yeah, it is beautiful, but you have to swim a little if you want to go there, or take the ferry. By the way, there's also a ferry. We can see some of the ferries just over there. So, okay. But there's a lot more to see today, or I want to show you a lot more. It is really a beautiful day. It is sunny. And I thought, okay, this trip is quite long. So, how are we going to do that? Let's rent a bicycle. So, I'm going to take you on the most Dutch way I was thinking of. But of course, then on a beautiful beach cruiser. Look at this. This is my blue beach cruiser with a pedal brake, so feels like home a little. And okay, let's see if I can unlock it with one hand. I can do that with my own bike. Maybe it is possible. Yeah, there it is. So we're gonna cycle a little. Sorry, you now just get some. Okay, let's place the lock inside over here. Let's see how this works. Sorry, this is a little. Come on. Oh, yeah, this is it. This is it. Okay, we're. Are you ready? We're gonna cycle into Miami Beach. So Find some orange flowers. No, we will find some other things. That is for later because there's a lot more to see, and there's also a lot more that I can tell you. So as you know from me, I'm gonna sit on my bicycle. I'm steering with my left hand. I'm filming with my right hand. We have to be a little careful because this is also a pedestrian zone. And I'm seeing here a lot of bicycles. And to be honest, this is the only part until now from the US that I've not seen a lot, where you can see so many bicycles. So, and there we go. Woohoo! You can see me. Hello. I can also cycle without hands, but oh, sorry. Oh, this man was looking. Okay. No, it's not as busy with bikes as in Amsterdam, but almost as busy. No, so I came here yesterday at 4:30, and that was of course already a little at the end of the afternoon. So I'm here now a little over 24 hours, and the first thing I had to do was to get a car. And what I did is I rented a car because I want to see a little more than only Miami. So, and I know that in the US, you really, in comparison to Europe, you really need a car. So I rented a car and I ordered a tiny one. But then I came there and they said like, yeah, the tiny ones, yeah, we hardly have any small cars. So, but yeah, this is just a little bigger. And then they gave me a weak SUV that is bigger than the almost the biggest car that I've been ever driving in the Netherlands. But I also found out already shortly after that that for US standards, the car that I have right now is not even big. It's just a little let's say middle class. And I'm staying, by the way, in an Airbnb. So I got that car, drove, and it was also a lot more luxury than I'm used to with all kind of things that I'm never not used to, like things in my chair. That if I'm going backwards, for example, that if there's a car coming from the right or the left, and I'm feeling in my chair on the at in my butt. So like, oh, there's someone come from the right or someone come from the left. Be careful. So all that kind of things. So that is, by the way, over here at the right side, we of course see the beach with the beautiful beach colors. Um, yeah, so that was already the first thing, and then I was starting to drive over the first uh, roads, and then I was really thinking like, whoa, everything is huge over here. I was feeling I was feeling so small in my car on these huge lanes. Also, the lane for cars is, I think, 2 times bigger than what we're used to or what I'm used to in the Netherlands. So it was already interesting, and of course I had to be very careful because I thought like, okay, this car was quite new, it's quite big. Also, not everything in the traffic is exactly the same. Uh, so, and of course, I was reading about the traffic rules in the U.S. before, but yeah, then there are all kind of things that you're doing normally just automatically. So I really had to think every time, like, okay, there's now a crossing, for example. One of the big things that is different are crossings. So a crossing, if you're coming in Europe, then the rule is a traffic that's coming from the right has the right of way. But no, not in the US. Here it is a little different. It's just the person who comes at the crossing first has the right of way. Or as some people are saying, the bigger your car, the more the right of way you have. So, okay. And yes, everything is big. Not only the cars, also the meals, etc. The meals, the cars, and even the people. Although I'm what I was thinking about this morning, I'm feeling big and I'm feeling small at the same time. I'm feeling small if I'm looking at the cars, if I'm looking at the food. But at the same time, I'm feeling big because in comparison to Amsterdam, for example, or comparison to the Netherlands, I'm quite tall over here, so I'm above average even. So even the guy in the rental in the car rental said to me like, "Oh, you're from the Netherlands. Oh, you're not as tall as the normal people from the Netherlands I'm getting over here." And then he said like, "Yeah, I know, I'm not so tall compared to the average Dutchie." And then he said like, "Yeah, but compared to people over here in Miami." you're tall, man. So welcome, bro. He said, welcome in Miami. So, oh, look at this little girl over here. So, but thank you already for the advice how to go in the car. And of course, I know that in the city on the roads it is a lot busier than if I'm going outside of the cities. So, but yeah. Also, another thing, by the way, that is completely different. But look how beautiful it now is with the blue sky, the palm trees, the hotels. We will soon, by the way, go away from this more beach part, and then we are going to the Ocean Drive. And so, if you're just coming in, just wait for that because it will be extremely beautiful over there. And the weather is really amazing for this today. Whoa. Okay, so we're going up and down a little at the left side. I'm just gonna get you in my other hand. So you're now on my left hand instead of my right because the gimbal can be sometimes a little heavy. So, but yeah, over here on the left side, hotel after hotel after hotel. And the thing is, I of course I couldn't do a tour over here without studying a little, without preparing a little. So I did read something about the past of Miami Beach, and it started over here with the first settlements. That looks a little like it was 2,000 years ago, but no, we're talking about the 19th century. The 19th century when they started to add the first buildings over here on Miami Beach, and these buildings were very simple. It was not a very rich area at that moment. At that moment yet, there were more and more Jewish people, by the way, starting to live in Miami Beach. And then what happened in at the start of the 20th century? There was a big hurricane. There was a quite big hurricane, and a lot of the buildings were destroyed. So, and after that hurricane, and it was in 1926, by the way, shortly after 1926, other things happened in the world, and I've been talking a little more about that sometimes in other tours. 1929, you had the worldwide crisis, and also Miami Beach. Also, the crisis was over here. So what happened is in the 30s, it was crisis over here, but they started to rebuild the city, because at the same time, of course, there was crisis, but still in the more northern part of the U.S., there were a lot of people that wanted to go to the beach. They had some money, not a lot. It's more like the middle class, and they wanted to go here to enjoy a good time, to have a good time, and for these middle class, some some investors were starting to build hotels. Very basic hotels, but at the same time, in the 30s, that was also the time that some new architectural designs were becoming more and more popular. And I just want to give you a little the background because what we are going to see over here, and I'm just going to show you my face for a moment. So, what was happening? What was happening over here? I don't know, not only over here but worldwide. I have to go back to the 19th century. The 19th century, that was the time of industrialization. Industrialization that you were seeing in the U.S., in the U.K., and literally on the big parts of the Western world. So, at the end of the 19th century, architects were inspired by they wanted to give something against this dark industrial age, against the factories and everything. So that was when at the end of the 19th century, when Art Nouveau was born. And Art Nouveau, you can see that in different European cities, the beautiful architecture, but not only architecture, it's of course also a design based on nature with forms that were really beautiful. So, for example, I've been with you in Barcelona. Gaudi is one of the examples of Art Nouveau. So, although in Spain they were calling it the modernistas because it was a modern way but inspired by nature and everything. That was the end of the 19th centuries, let's say 1890s, until the 1920s. So about 30 years, that was a very important architectural style that you could see in Vienna, that you could see in Barcelona, in Paris, in the Netherlands, and in a lot of other parts. And then in the 1930s, uh, inspired by Art Nouveau, there was a new architectural style called Art Deco, influenced by each other. But Art Deco is a little more the modern version of Art Nouveau. And when I'm saying the modern version, it was inspired. Hey, hello. It was inspired by the more modern techniques, by steel, by also the modern designs that were coming, for example, from planes, from big ships that were in that time, and that's when Art Deco started. And I'm now going to change the screen. So, like this tour, then you can support me. Look at this, by the way. There's a crow sitting over here on just one leg, sort of protecting Ocean Drive, because we are over here on Ocean Drive, the famous strip of Miami with a lot of beautiful Art Deco originally hotels built in basically between 1930 and 1942. So in about 10 years time, a little over 10 years time, hundreds of hotels were built over here, almost all in the same style, in a style that we're calling Art Deco. And so look at this, how beautiful it is already. And also look sometimes at the cars that you can see on some parts. So, and I'm just gonna show you this car over here, because this car that we see here at the other side. And I'm not enough into cars to recognize exactly the type, but it has several parts of the design that you can also find in the Art Deco. So if you look at this car, it is so-called streamlined. It is a streamlined car, so it never has everywhere has round corners, and you can imagine that it is perfect. It is perfect if you are uh, um, going in the wind. You're using less gas, and that was not only used, by the way, for cars, but you can find the same with trains, but also with boats and even planes. And it is a beautiful car for sure. Yeah, it is even. You can find some more information about it. There's a QR code on that. But let's go and find some more. So this was one of the inspirations for also the houses and the architecture, and we can already see that over here in the next one, in Barbizon. In this Barbizon building, a typical form of Art Deco, we can see that the whole building is streamlined. So it has round corners, so it looks like the wind can go quite easily around it. It also has the typical colors that you can find everywhere over here, like the very light yellow, the green, but there are also several other elements that are very typical for Art Deco. And one of them, and I'm just going to share it already with you, is the so-called eyebrows of these buildings. So what we see, what we see, is that everywhere above the windows, you see that there are parts sticking out of the building. They're sticking out of the building, and not only it was a design style, it was also something that was quite useful, because in the time that they were building and exactly pastel colors, that was the word that I was searching for. No, at the time that they were building these places, it was not normal to have air conditioning. So what they were doing with these eyebrows, it was to make sure that on summer days when the sun is very high, that you have less sun coming into the rooms. So that is why they were designing these eyebrows on a lot of the Art Deco buildings. Not on all of them, but on some. Let's go a little further, because there's a lot more to see. I'm going here over the bike lane, the green bike lane, as you can see over here. There are also a lot of people, so I have to be a little careful. Here at the right side is the beach, and is the park where a lot of people are laying. So, and yeah, so in the 1930s, they were building hundreds and hundreds of these hotels in the new Art Deco style. And it is good to know that these hotels were all built for the middle class. So, and it was also a time of of a crisis. So there was not a lot of money. So they were using a lot of cheaper materials, but of course still in a very beautiful design. So, for example, over here we have the Park Centraal Hotel, one of the masterpieces, also completely Art Deco. One of the other things, by the way, that you can find in designs of Art Deco are that there are always lines. And basically, there's also always also the number 3 that you can find a lot. So over here in the middle of the Park Centraal Hotel, you can see that there are 3 rows of windows, and the windows are connected to each other with a vertical line. There are also horizontal lines, so it is quite beautiful how they did it over here, and also the colors again. So the architect over here was inspired by the colors of Miami by sunset. So a little pastel colors, the darker blue that you can have at sunset, and he made several. He designed several buildings next to each other, and then we also have over here another beautiful car. Look at this one, from the fire department. That is really a car from from I think even a little older than most of the buildings that we have over here. That's more from the time of the Art Nouveau. The one that we were seeing before was more from the time that we're seeing over here. And then we have other hotels like Majestic, and look everywhere at the beautiful colors that you can find over here. One of the other things, by the way, it is so different from the Netherlands. While we have over here another beautiful streamlined car. Look at the yellow and white one over here on the side. In the same style, you can see again the lines also in the design of this car, mainly horizontal lines, and really beautiful. Okay, and Dahlia, it is for me the first time that I'm here, so I cannot say if the buildings are shady or not. They're still looking for me quite beautiful, and everything is open again. So uh, you have over here the Beacon Hotel, again with beautiful Art Deco uh, parts. And Art Deco was, by the way, not only inspired by Art Nouveau, but also, for example, by the Egyptian art. So you can sometimes see Egyptian parts that you can think like, okay, where's this coming from? So a little pre-classical elements that you can find a lot. Look how beautiful this one also over here. Starlight Hotel. Wow. Nowadays, by the way, all these boutique hotels are quite expensive. So it's not really for the middle class anymore. So for me, it was too expensive to stay over here. And Miami is an extremely expensive town. Or I don't know, at least compared to Amsterdam. I'm always thinking Amsterdam is expensive, but over here it is more expensive. And the next old car. Look at this. Oh, there's even a man sitting inside. He's looking at us. Look at this. There's a man. I don't know if you can see it. A man is sitting inside, looking at us. You're taking a video of my car. Yeah, there are a lot of cars over here. Also, valet parking everywhere. And yeah, you can also imagine that it is expensive because you see a lot of Lamborghinis and a Ferrari, like over here, the red one. Oh, I have to be careful because I'm sorry. One of the other things that I'm seeing One of the other things that I'm seeing is that I'm cycling over here, of course, with one hand, and a lot of people looking at me like, "Oh, you're cycling with one hand," and they're also a little uh, more cautious than I am on my bike. I can see that already. And then we have another masterpiece, by the way, over here, the Waldorf Hotel, the Waldorf Towers Hotel, and with a beautiful tower that is in the corner. And another one, by the way, in the 1980s, the city of Miami Beach said like, okay, this is too dangerous, this tower, so we have to remove it. And they also, what happens, and I just make a little step to more modern times. Of course, these buildings were over here, and it's one of the reasons why Miami became so popular. It became more and more popular during the 70s and the 80s, and then when a place is becoming more popular, that also means that investors are coming over here. So more and more investors decided to invest, and they started to build some of these, to buy some of these hotels, and with a plan to remove them, to remove the hotels, to build something like a skyscraper, where you can have a lot more guests in your hotel, and of course making a lot more money. But this started to happen over here. But then some architects over here in Miami, supported by a lot of locals, were saying like, okay, this is not going to happen. So they were starting to demonstrate, and they were literally with hundreds of people demonstrating against the removal of a lot of these Art Deco hotels and buildings. So wow, there are now several parties over here. Also, that's what you're hearing. No, so they started to demonstrate, and where the city of Miami Beach was almost destroyed completely in 1926 by the hurricane. In the 80s and 90s, it was almost destroyed by investors that wanted to remove these old buildings. Uh, and why did they want to remove it? Of course, to build something more beautiful. More beautiful, no, bigger, not more beautiful, bigger, and so they could make more money. And we have over here another beautiful one. This is not completely Art Deco. It's also a little inspired by the Mediterranean style, called Bon Air. I think the Prince of Bel Air stayed over here when he shot that beautiful video talking about air. And then over here in the middle of the strip, we maybe have the most beautiful one. And look at this car in the meantime. We have maybe the most beautiful one, also not completely Art Deco. No, not Art Deco at all. We have over here, and of course I love this one, because we have over here the Amsterdam building. This is the Amsterdam building in a very Mediterranean style. Why the Amsterdam building? It is named after the first people that came, of course, to New Amsterdam. And it is a really beautiful building that is in the style of the more Italian architecture. And to be honest, the owner that bought this place over here, he let it design, and then he found out that there was not enough place for his swimming pool anymore. So what he did is he thought like, okay, let's one of the owners, was not the first owner, by the way, but what he did, this was also in the 80s, he bought the piece next to it. Here on the left there was another beautiful Art Deco building. He bought it, and he made sure that he got a license to destroy the building that he just bought. And that was, by the way, one of the things where the architects and later all the locals were fighting against. In the end, they lost this battle, but by losing this battle, it was at the same time they were winning the bigger battle, because shortly after this happened, the city of Miami Beach decided that they want to keep the rest. They want to keep the rest of the beautiful Art Deco buildings, and since that time they are protected. And by the way, look at this. You're also at the crossing to go from one side to the other side, and it's in the same beautiful style. It is really one of the most beautiful crossings that I've seen. Okay, just going to the other side. Yeah, it is also it's now a little later. I was here in the morning to have a breakfast, etc. And then it was still very calm. So, okay, we're now getting some three of the most beautiful Art Deco buildings that you can that I found over here. That is first Hotel Leslie, 1939, next to the ocean front. Of also, even the ocean front is beautiful, but Leslie over here on the side. Hi, Leslie. This place is named after you, or the other way around, maybe. No, I think the other way around. No, but it's a beautiful designed Art Deco building again with, of course, eyebrows. This one is not so streamlined as the other ones, so there were still variations. But you can also find again the same pastel colors, very light yellow and some other colors of yellow next to it. Uh, and it is really when I was here this morning, I was really thinking like I'm back in the 50s and 40s, 50s with all these beautiful buildings. And then next to it, you have the Carlisle, and in pastel green, this one, also a beautiful one again with uh, with some other elements of Art Deco because you can see the tree lines again. You can see that a lot in Art Deco, the tree lines going to the top. And on the middle part, and this by the way also something that I'm not so used to, on the middle part we see the US flag, and that is something that I'm not used to in the Netherlands, because in the Netherlands we are not allowed to have the flag on our building only on some specific days, like Liberation Day, and on days when there are the birthdays of our royals. Then it is allowed to have a flag, but on other days it is not allowed, and you can even get a fine if you are hanging a flag. So it's very interesting how that is. And then we have over here the Cardoso Hotel. Okay, I'm just gonna, yeah, so the Cardoso Hotel, a really other beautiful one. And you can see in the middle part, the three elements again, we see the eyebrows, but also over here there is a part that looks like it is marble. But to be honest, this is not marble. This is not marble because in the time of building, they didn't have money for marble. So it is a fake marble. It is basically a limestone that is used, that is looking like marble, but a lot cheaper. But of course, if you don't know that, it looks like a beautiful marble hotel. And yeah, it is a Cardoso hotel with a Cuban. It's a Cuban place. There are, by the way, also a lot of Cubans living in this part. And then here at the other side, I'm just gonna show you. We have over here a nice statue of Barbara Bear Capitman, who lived from 1920 to 1990. And she was the founder, and we can see it also over here, the founder of the Miami Design Preservation League. The Miami Design Preservation League. And she was of the leading forces, one of the leading forces in the fight against investors that wanted to remove everything. If the investors had won, then everything over here would have been private. No public beach, big skyscrapers for, of course, all the rich people. But thanks to her, and not only her, but of course also a lot of other people, it is still what it is right now. And the interesting thing is that her son, she supported her, and he became a rich man, and he decided to buy some of the hotels over here to make sure that they would not be removed. And that was Mr. Cardoso. So, and one of his hotels is named after him, but he had several other ones too. Okay, so yeah, Cubans also traditionally a lot of Jewish people, although not so many anymore as in the older times. And look at this, by the way, the Cavalier, also again nicely Art Deco. Then we have a bigger building, a little newer, but still using some of the elements. By the way, this is called Netherlands. So I'm feeling home with, first we had the Amsterdam house and then we have over here Netherlands. Only the S is missing. So, okay, I'm just going because there's a little more here at the end. Yeah, there's, by the way, a lot more also on other streets than Ocean Drive. There are hundreds of buildings in Art Deco style. But I cannot show you, I cannot show you everything. But at least it's giving an idea. We have over here Winter Heaven. Again, eyebrows, the three columns, eyebrows, three columns, pastel colors. Everything is there. And the temperature over here, it's a nice, it's a 26, 27 degrees, so it's above 70 Fahrenheit. I don't know exactly, I'm not so good in Fahrenheit yet. Maybe after these 2 weeks, that will be better. And then we have over here the Penguin Hotel. Here we have some also little alternative styles. You can also look, for example, at the fonts that they're using for the names of these hotels. So the Crescent, and then over there at the side we also have the Ocean Plaza in a very typical style of the letters that they used for these buildings. And what we also over here you can see a little more the Egyptian elements. I said already before, also Art Deco was inspired by more Egyptian elements, and that's what we can see over here with the sun, and you're almost missing some of the hieroglyphs. Maybe they should add them. So this is really beautiful, isn't it? Ocean Plaza, again, using marble that is not marble. And then the Betsy Ross, a little different style over here at the end. So I did now a big part, and this is also the end of the bike lane. You can see the bike lane ends over here. So that means from over here, I have to go into the traffic again with all these huge cars compared to what I'm used to, at least. So that also means that I'm on the end of this tour. So I'm just gonna show you. I'm just gonna show you my face again. So I hope you. Still a little too bright without my sunglasses. So I hope you enjoyed this little tour on Miami Beach. It was a pleasure to have so many of you on this tour today. And it is only the first one. This is the first one. Tomorrow there will be two tours. There will be two tours tomorrow. On Monday there's one. Hopefully I have reception in the Everglades. And after that there will be several other ones when I'm traveling through Florida. I'm even gonna meet some Voyagers, so that's also cool. So yeah, there's a lot of hotels. A lot of hotels. So basically, almost every building over here is a hotel. So I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, you can support me by buying me today an expensive coffee in Miami. And not only that, you can also use PayPal or one of the other ways, and I really appreciate it. So I can at least cover part of the costs over here. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna go for I think one drink, and after that, finding a place for dinner, maybe on another part of Miami, because there's so much more to see. So I hope you enjoyed it, to learn a little from this tourist from the tourist perspective about Miami. Um, so, and also a little more about Art Deco. So thank you again for joining, and I hope that my homework was good enough. The thing is, I knew already a little about Art Deco, so that was not completely new. But I've never seen so many Art Deco altogether, because in Europe, you just have here and there a building, and not like a whole street with house after house. And it is very nice that you can see then how different elements of a style you can see in different buildings next to each other. So and also when you are one drink is $20. Yeah, almost. Yeah, almost. On some places it is. So but yeah, I know that's also part. And of course I'm also here for another reason. for a conference that will be next week. But before that time, I'm gonna do a lot more tours. So hope to see several of you again. Oscar is joining. Oscar is joining, of course. He's now in the backpack because it was too windy. So I'm gonna bring my pedal brake bike back, my beach cruiser, and and then I hope to see you again in the coming days. Maybe tomorrow or the day after, or in the days after, there will be a lot more. So keep an eye on my channel. If you didn't do that yet, just subscribe to my YouTube because that is the easiest. And thank you already for everyone who's supporting me. Thank you. Bye bye, and hope to see you again.